This is Mission Control Houston. The International Space Station's Expedition 32 crew is wrapping up a week dominated by the comings and goings of cargo ships while they've been keeping up a strong pace of science operations. The six crew members finished their first 3 weeks as a group on orbit. Saturday, July 28th, the crew opened the hatch on the H-2 transfer vehicle, HTV number 3, which had arrived at the space station the previous day, and started unloading tons of supplies. They, in fact, worked so much on that they got days ahead of the scheduled timeline. That evening, they monitored the redocking of a Progress cargo ship, which was testing out an enhanced version of the automated rendezvous and docking system, which worked just fine after Russian specialists raised the temperature inside that module. Over the weekend and even on Monday, flight engineers Joe Akaba, Sonny Williams, and Aki Hoshide spent a lot of time unloading the material inside that Japanese cargo ship. In the meantime, Commander Gennady Podolka, flight engineer Sergei Revin, and flight engineer Yuri Malenchenko monitored the final departure of 47P. And in between times, Aki Hoshide he prepared the Solution Crystallization Observation Facility for a JAXA biotechnology investigation, which is aimed at refining our understanding of the mechanisms that drive the growth of crystals in microgravity. Akaba and Williams joined him for body mass measurements and ultrasound examinations. Williams also fed the spiders that are part of the YouTube Space Lab experiment that was delivered on HTV. That is a suite of 2 experiments that were developed by high school students and were selected by proposals that were delivered via YouTube. On Tuesday, the crew took readings for several life sciences investigations and started work with the Advanced Colloids experiment, which will examine materials that contain small colloidal particles to learn more about how those particles behave in microgravity. Williams also took time to talk to a radio station in Woods Hole, Massachusetts, her home state, and to Dr. Sanjay Gupta on CNN about the progress of her mission so far and plans for the future, and finished up the day with more body mass measurements. Podolka and Malenchenko had a refresher course in the operation of the Toru. That is the manual backup docking system in the Russian segment of the station that is used in case the automated docking system fails. But they were testing out Toru in advance of another imminent arrival. Wednesday saw, for the first time ever, the launch and docking of a Russian cargo ship on the same day. 48 Progress made the trip from the Baikonur Cosmodrome to the space station docking port in just 4 orbits of the Earth, instead of the usual 34 orbits. This was a test of a new flight profile that could save future human crews a lot of hours spent inside the cramped Soyuz vehicle on the normal 2-day transit to the space station. Earlier in that day, Joe Akaba set up and performed operations with a capillary flow experiment, which is a fluid physics investigation to learn how fluids behave in microgravity. Hoshide set up the ultrasound equipment for the integrated cardiovascular experiment and then assisted Akaba in gathering data for the integrated experiment to quantify any atrophy of the heart muscle due to the absence of gravity. On Thursday afternoon, the Russian crew opened the hatches to 48P and started unloading it, and all crew members took part in routine station maintenance. Akaba worked with what is known as the vascular experiment. That's a Canadian investigation looking into the mechanisms that are responsible for changes in blood pressure, and particularly those that parallel changes that occur in people on Earth as they age. The crew members have been working in split shifts due to the Progress operations, but the whole expedition crew got their schedules synced up for Friday, which featured Progress unloading, Joe Akaba and Aki Hoshide training for robotic arm operations that are coming up next Monday, when they will fly the Japan robotic arm to receive a handoff from Canadarm2. The handoff item will be an unpressurized cargo pallet that ground controllers will extract from the HTV. The station crew members will move that pallet over to the Kibo Exposed facility on Monday and to kick off even more groundbreaking science operations on board the world's orbiting laboratory.